12 easiest fall veggies for mild winters. Hey friends, welcome back to Earthly Delights, the little corner of the internet where we turn quiet spaces into living, breathing gardens. Whether you're nurturing a balcony jungle, tending a few raised beds in your backyard, or simply keeping herbs alive on your kitchen windowsill, this video is for you. You're the kind of person who finds peace in watering, who smiles at new leaves, and who believes that even small gardens can change the mood of a home. As the air turns cooler and the light softens, fall arrives. And with it, the most forgiving season of the year. While most people think gardening ends in summer, you and I know that autumn is where the magic truly begins. The soil is still warm, pests calm down, and your plants finally have a chance to thrive without the stress of blazing heat. Today, I'll share 12 of the easiest vegetables to grow in mild winters. Crops that reward you even if you're short on time, space, or experience. And yes, we'll also talk about 3 that just aren't worth the effort. So grab your cup of tea, take a deep breath, and let's dream up your most effortless fall garden yet. Before we dig in, don't forget to subscribe to Earthly Delights, because your next favorite season of growth is just one seed away. Part 1. The Comeback Greens. Growers that refuse to fail fall is the season of second chances. When tired summer beds wake up again, these first few crops are the heroes that never give up, no matter how unpredictable the weather gets. They're perfect for anyone who wants color, nutrition, and confidence all in one harvest. Let's begin with a true survivor, the unshakable kale. One kale, the unbreakable warrior. If there's one plant that refuses to quit, it's kale. When everything else slows down, kale keeps growing. Steady, bold, and deeply green. It's the crop for anyone who's been through a few garden disappointments and still wants to try again. You can start from seed or transplant. It doesn't complain either way. Kale loves cool air, and a light frost only makes its leaves sweeter. For small gardens or balcony growers, dwarf and Siberian types are your best friends. Compact, resilient, and always producing. The beauty of kale isn't just in its taste, but in its rhythm. You harvest a few leaves, and it keeps giving back, week after week, like a quiet promise from the earth. Toss it into soups, blend it in smoothies, or crisp it in the oven for guilt-free chips. Every leaf you pick reminds you that patience and persistence pay off, not just in gardening, but in life itself. 2. Swiss chard, the colorful survivor. If your garden ever needs a touch of cheer, plant Swiss chard. Those rainbow-colored stems, red, gold, pink, and white, look like stained glass when sunlight hits them. But this beauty isn't fragile. It thrives through temperature swings that make other greens quit. Whether you sow seeds directly or use transplants, chard rewards you with lush leaves that grow back every time you harvest. It's the perfect crop for anyone who wants abundance without constant replanting. Even if you forget to water it now and then, it forgives you. And here's the best part. You can eat it young and tender in salads or let it grow large for sautéing like spinach. For balcony gardeners, chard is a showpiece that doubles as food. A plant that proves practicality can be beautiful. And if you ever have more than you can eat, don't worry. The chickens or even your compost will thank you for it. 3. Lettuce, the quick gratification crop. If you love instant results, lettuce is your spirit plant. In just 3 to 4 weeks, you can harvest your first bowl of crisp, refreshing greens. Proof that patience doesn't always have to take long. Lettuce thrives in the gentle light of fall, especially when days are shorter and cooler. For those with limited space, it's a dream come true. It grows perfectly in window boxes, raised beds, or even recycled containers. The trick is to plant in small batches every 2 weeks, so you always have fresh leaves ready to pick. Mixed leaf and romaine varieties for a blend of color, crunch, and flavor that makes every meal feel garden fresh. When summer heat once made you feel like a failed gardener, lettuce restores your confidence. It's soft, forgiving, and endlessly generous. Just a little care, a splash of water, and a cool breeze, and your garden starts giving back almost instantly. Part 2. Roots that build patience and flavor. Now that your garden is alive with greens, it's time to look beneath the surface. Root vegetables are where patience meets reward. Quiet growers that transform simple soil into pure magic. These are the crops that teach you to wait, to trust the unseen, and to savor the moment you pull them from the earth. 4. Carrots magic beneath the soil. There's something almost childlike about growing carrots. You plant tiny seeds, wait weeks without seeing much, and then one day, you pull up a burst of color from the earth. It's like uncovering buried treasure. Carrots thrive in the cool air of fall when the soil stays moist but not hot. For the best results, loosen the soil deeply so the roots can stretch straight and long. In small gardens, raised beds are perfect, while indoor growers can use deep containers to get surprisingly big yields. Here's a little trick. Pre-soak or pre-sprout the seeds between damp paper towels before planting. It speeds up germination and keeps spacing even. As your carrots mature, thin them out carefully to give each plant room to grow. When harvest day comes, the feeling of pulling that first crisp orange root from the soil never gets old. It's proof that slow growth often creates the sweetest rewards. 5. Radishes, the 3-week miracle crop. If patience isn't your strongest virtue, radishes will be your favorite teacher. In just 3 weeks, these little roots go from seed to harvest, a fast, cheerful reminder that gardening doesn't always have to take months. Radishes love cool, mild weather, and they thrive when the soil is loose and well-drained. For beginners, they're the perfect test crop to see how your fall soil behaves. You can scatter the seeds between slower growers like carrots or beets. The radishes will mature first, leaving behind space for the others to spread. Their peppery crunch adds life to salads and sandwiches, while roasted radishes surprise with a mild, buttery flavor. Try colorful varieties like French breakfast or Easter egg to make your harvests as beautiful as they are quick. And the best part? Even if you're gardening in a few small pots on a balcony, a handful of radish seeds can make you feel like a successful grower in record time. 6. Green onions, the forever regrower. Green onions are like loyal friends. Once you plant them, they never truly leave. They're simple, space-saving, and endlessly renewable, making them ideal for busy gardeners or those with just a sunny windowsill. You can start from seed, but the real magic is in regrowth. Take the white root ends from store-bought bunches, place them in a glass of water for a few days, and then plant them in soil. Within a week, you'll see fresh green shoots reaching upward. They thrive in cool, mild weather and don't demand much, just moisture and sunlight. Snip what you need and let them keep growing back, over and over again. Their crisp, oniony flavor elevates everything from soups to stir-fries, and the act of harvesting them right before cooking feels deeply satisfying. For fall gardeners, green onions are a small but powerful joy, proof that even the simplest plants can offer endless abundance. Part 3. The climbers and producers. Now let's bring some movement and height into your fall garden. These crops love to stretch, climb, and fill every corner with life. They're the playful growers, always reaching higher, always producing more. Perfect for small gardens, trellises, or balcony railings, these plants remind us that growth isn't just downward in roots, it's upward toward the light. 7. Peas, the happy climber. There's something joyful about watching peas reach for the sky. From the moment those delicate tendrils appear, they seem full of optimism, a plant that grows with energy you can feel. Peas are ideal for fall planting because they adore the cool air and softer sunlight. Just give them a trellis, a wire fence, or even a balcony railing, and they'll quickly turn it into a living curtain of green. They're also one of the most rewarding crops for families. Kids love popping open the pods and tasting that burst of sweetness straight from the vine. For best results, plant peas in rich, moist soil and water regularly as they start to flower. You can choose sugar snaps for crunch or snow peas for tender pods, both perfect for stir-fries or fresh snacking. And when they're done producing, don't pull the roots. Leave them in the soil to enrich it naturally with nitrogen. Peas aren't just food, they're nature's way of reminding us that joy multiplies when we let things climb and connect. Fava beans, the soil healers. Fava beans are the quiet workers of the garden, strong, humble, and deeply generous. While other plants take from the soil, favas give back, enriching it with nitrogen and organic matter that prepare your beds for the next season. They thrive in cool, mild winters and handle light frosts without complaint, making them perfect for gardeners who like to plant once and rest easy. Start them from seed directly in the ground or tuck them into any open corner where nothing else is growing. Even between fruit trees or tall crops, their broad, silvery green leaves look elegant, And when spring comes, they reward you with fragrant white and black flowers that attract pollinators. Soon after, pods appear, packed with creamy, protein-rich beans you can eat fresh or dried. Growing fava beans is like investing in the future of your soil. They feed you, then feed the earth. For anyone who believes gardening is about giving back as much as you take, this crop is your perfect match. Part 4. Flavor and fragrance crops. A garden isn't complete without scent and flavor. The plants that awaken your senses the moment you brush past them. These herbs and greens don't just feed the body, they lift the spirit. In the gentle chill of fall, their fragrance deepens, their colors grow richer, and every harvest feels like gathering a little bit of comfort from the earth itself. 9. Cilantro, the fragrant rebel. Cilantro is that bold friend who thrives when others fade. It hates the heat of summer, but comes alive the moment cool weather returns, making fall its perfect stage. For those who've watched cilantro bolt too soon in warmer months, this is your redemption season. Scatter seeds every couple of weeks across different corners of your garden, and you'll always have fresh leaves ready to harvest. It grows easily in pots, raised beds, or along sunny windowsills, wherever a little fragrance is welcome. As it matures, cilantro offers more than just flavor. When it finally bolts, the tiny white flowers attract ladybugs and other beneficial insects that protect your garden. Its leaves bring brightness to tacos, soups, and salads, while the seeds, coriander, add warmth to winter dishes. Cilantro teaches one of gardening's most beautiful lessons. Timing is everything. When you plant it in its season, it doesn't just survive, it thrives effortlessly and fragrantly. 10. Parsley, the patient companion. Parsley may not shout for attention, but it's the quiet backbone of any thriving fall garden. While it takes its time to sprout, sometimes 2 to 3 weeks, once it settles, it becomes a faithful companion that lasts through the coldest nights. For anyone who values consistency over speed, parsley is your plant. Sow it directly in the ground or in deep containers where roots can spread comfortably. Keep the soil moist during germination, and after that, it practically cares for itself. Its dark, glossy leaves stay lush all winter, adding fresh flavor to soups, stews, and roasted vegetables. Curly parsley decorates your dishes, while flat-leaf Italian parsley delivers bold, savory depth. Beyond its use in the kitchen, parsley enriches the garden ecosystem by attracting butterflies and bees when it flowers. It reminds you that slow growth doesn't mean stagnation. It means strength. A patient heart and a steady gardener always reap lasting rewards, one leaf at a time. Part 5. The underrated producers. Some vegetables don't make the spotlight, yet they're the quiet champions of fall. These plants grow fast, adapt easily, and fit perfectly in small gardens or containers. They prove that you don't need acres of land to feed yourself. Just curiosity, care, and a patch of soil. Let's explore one of the most rewarding and underestimated crops of all. 11. Broccoli. The gift that keeps on giving, broccoli asks for patience, but it gives back tenfold. It's the gardener's slow reward. A plant that takes its time, then surprises you with weeks of abundance. Start with transplants or seeds in early fall when the soil is still warm, and by the time the chill sets in, you'll see thick green heads forming. The best part? Once you harvest the main crown, don't pull up the plant. Side shoots will keep sprouting for weeks, offering tender mini florets that taste even better than the first. Broccoli thrives in steady, mild weather and loves nutrient-rich soil. For pest control, plant it beside garlic or onions, natural allies that keep aphids at bay. Each harvest feels like uncovering treasure, a gentle reminder that good things come to those who wait. And when you steam, roast, or stir-fry it, you're tasting more than a vegetable. You're tasting the result of quiet, steady faith in the garden's rhythm. 12. Bok choy, the compact powerhouse. Bok choy, also known as pak choy, is one of those plants that makes you wonder why you didn't grow it sooner. Compact, fast-growing, and elegant, it's perfect for gardeners with limited space or those who prefer container growing. In mild winters, bok choy thrives. The cool air keeps its leaves crisp and tender. From seed to harvest, it takes only about 40 days, and you can enjoy it young for salads or mature for stir-fries and soups. Its glossy green leaves and pale white stems create a stunning contrast in any garden bed. Even if you miss a watering or two, it bounces back quickly, forgiving small mistakes like an old friend. For those who love cooking, it's a dream. Fresh bok choy adds a subtle sweetness and gentle crunch that store-bought versions can't match. It's proof that a small plant can carry immense value, feeding your body, calming your mind, and beautifying your garden all at once. Part 6, 3 to skip and why they're not worth the space. Not every plant deserves a spot in your precious fall garden. Some look tempting in catalogs but demand too much time, attention, or perfect weather to truly thrive. In mild winters, efficiency matters. Every inch of soil should reward you back. So let's talk about 3 crops that often break gardeners' hearts and what to grow instead. 1. Brussels sprouts. The time thief. Brussels sprouts may look charming in photos, tall stalks lined with tiny cabbages. But in mild winter gardens, they're more trouble than they're worth. These plants demand a long, cool season of 90 days or more of steady cold, something rare in warmer climates. Without it, they grow tall but never form tight, flavorful sprouts. Instead, you're left with a lot of leaves and frustration. They're also magnets for aphids and caterpillars, making maintenance a full-time job. If you love the taste of Brussels sprouts, don't worry. Kale or young broccoli shoots can give you a similar earthy flavor with far less effort. Think of this as a lesson in letting go of perfection. Not every plant suits every garden. Save your energy and your space for something that will thrive instead of simply surviving. Gardening is about joy and reward, not constant battle, and Brussels sprouts rarely keep that promise. 2. Cauliflower. The drama queen. Cauliflower is stunning when it behaves, a perfect white head wrapped in soft green leaves. But in a mild winter garden, it's one of the most temperamental plants you can grow. A few unexpected warm days or sudden cold snaps can make the head separate, discolor, or button, forming tiny, useless florets instead of the dense crowns you hoped for. It needs steady temperatures, consistent watering, and perfect timing. 3 things nature rarely offers. Even when successful, cauliflower gives you just one harvest and then it's done. For busy gardeners or anyone growing in small spaces, it's a poor investment. Instead, try Romanesco for its forgiving nature and unique spiral beauty, or go with cabbage, which produces generous heads with far less fuss. Cauliflower teaches an important truth. Not every beautiful plant is meant for your zone. In the end, your peace and productivity matter more than chasing the perfect picture. 3. Spinach. The bolter spinach might seem like a must-grow green, but in mild winter climates, it's a heartbreak waiting to happen. The moment temperatures rise just a little, or daylight hours increase, spinach decides it's time to bolt, sending up a flower stalk and turning bitter overnight. You can baby it with shade cloth and perfect watering, but it still tends to run ahead of schedule. For gardeners who crave reliability, that unpredictability can be exhausting. The good news? There are much better alternatives. Swiss chard, bok choy, or even tatsoi offer similar textures and flavors without the drama. They stay tender, productive, and happy long after spinach has given up. Think of it this way. Gardening isn't about forcing plants to fit your climate. It's about choosing companions that meet you halfway. Let spinach go, and you'll find peace and plenty of greens, growing right where your patience can flourish. The quiet power of fall gardening. Fall gardening isn't about perfection. It's about peace. It's the season where the soil softens, the light turns golden, and you get to slow down enough to truly connect with what you're growing. These 12 easy crops prove that gardening doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. You don't need acres of land or fancy equipment, just curiosity, a bit of patience, and the willingness to start. Even one pot of lettuce, a row of kale, or a handful of peas on your balcony can change how you feel about your space. So, as you plan your fall garden, remember this. Plant what brings you joy, not stress. Choose crops that work with your climate, not against it. Let every harvest, big or small, remind you that growth happens quietly, often when we least expect it. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these fall veggies are you most excited to plant? Or do you have your own favorite that never fails? Share it in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else's garden. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to Earthly Delights for more down-to-earth tips and inspiration, because your next season of growth is already waiting beneath the soil.